The 2013 campaign for statewide office is off and running in Virginia, and this weekend in the popular conservative website Bearing Drift, radio talk show host John Fredericks wrote the following. Looking over the announced field of candidates for GOP nomination in statewide office, every candidate except for Chesapeake's Bishop E.W. Jackson is an elected official, past or present. It might be time for a new face to enter the mix and shake things up. Enter Pete Snyder, stage right. And with that, we welcome Pete Snyder, stage right. Pete, thank you for being here.
Hey, Ryan, thanks so much for having me.
And our viewers may have, of course, recognized you as a pretty prominent spokesperson during the past campaign for Republican officials, but you have an announcement that you want to make about 2013. What are your plans for next year?
Well, Ryan, it's always nice to get the type of encouragement that I did on Bearing Drift the other day. And over the course of the past few years, I've been able to get in touch with tens of thousands of grassroots activists out there, and as we're fighting for our entire Republican ticket. Since Election Day, our markets have been foundering. Our economy is not getting any better, and I've heard a lot of encouragement that people want to have someone in office with actual private sector experience. That's why I'm pretty excited and pretty fired up that we're going to be announcing right here today that I'm running to be the 40th Lieutenant Governor in the great history of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
All right, so there you have it. Pete Snyder is formally announcing his plans for Lieutenant Governor. A crowded field, maybe as many as 8 candidates running. And as John Fredericks points out in this column, virtually all of them have some form of elected office experience. You don't have any. You've never even run for elected office before. Is this kind of a big stage for you to step out on for the first time?
Right, I've worked with candidates for years at a grassroots level, not only in Virginia, but also across America. I've also been a job creator and an entrepreneur in creating hundreds of jobs right here in Virginia and actually inspiring an industry that's created tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands around the world. So I've been on a pretty big stage before. I'm looking forward to contributing to really turning our economy around, also focusing like a laser beam on issues, big issues like education reform. Virginia can't remain #1 in business if we're sliding in education, Ryan.
Okay.
Far too often, politics is about small ball.
Right.
We need to have it about big ideas this year.
And last question, and as quickly as you possibly can. Obviously, you were right there on the front lines in a tough year for Republicans. What's it going to take for a Republican to win statewide this coming year?
Well, I think it's not about capitulation. You hear all sorts of talks about higher taxes out there. We need to make sure that we're running a strong conservative agenda, but also winning hearts and minds with big ideas like education reform and actually eliminating the corporate taxes for businesses in Virginia.
Okay.
That's what we need to do.
All right, Pete Snyder is in the race for Lieutenant Governor. Pete, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay.